I'll be spending 30 minutes at 4 of the best farming spots in Northrend. When you farm, I suggest having a decent amount of empty bag space, be repaired, have potions, PvP gear if need be, food and water, blare some music, and most importantly, have fun. The first place I'll be farming is the Frostflow Cave in Northeast Storm Peaks. These mobs drop crystallized fires, greens, and vendor trash. All classes should have an easy time farming these with any type of gear. Just be sure to pull what you can handle. The worst thing they do is charge and stun. If you lack decent gear or skill, try killing less at a time. Sometimes while farming you'll notice a botter. This cave seems to have a lot of them since most people don't even know it exists. Looks like this botter sucks at programming though. He can't even manage to get up the ramp and was pretty much stuck the entire time. At least this gave me some entertainment seeing him fail horribly at cheating. Anyway, back to the main point. One of the best things about this cave is the mob respawn times are awesome. And even with 2 people farming the cave, you aren't likely to run out of mobs. Okay, so it's been 30 minutes and I was able to get about 291 gold worth of stuff. Next, I'll go to the Cauldron of Flames in Southeast Wintergrass. It's important that your faction holds the zone or you won't be able to get the best farming mobs. As with the last farming spot, these mobs drop crystallized fires, greens, and vendor trash. All classes should have an easy time farming these with any type of gear. Just be sure to pull what you can handle. Even with a full respawn, it doesn't take long to clear everything out. To help with the downtime, I usually switch over to killing Tempest Revenants that drop crystallized airs, greens, and vendor trash, and then I head back and continue clearing out the Cauldron area. If the price of Eternal Lives are high enough, I usually head to the southwest of Wintergrasp and farm those instead of Eternal Airs between waiting on Flave Revenant respawns. It's a long way to travel and can nerf your farming gold per hour ratio if they are cheap on your server. All in all though, Wintergrasp is an easy and great place to farm. In 30 minutes I was able to get 211 gold worth of stuff. Alright, now for Ice Crown. This farming spot is a bit different as no solid items like crystallized fires drop. These mobs instead drop money, greens, vendor trash, and frostweave cloth. What's really nice about them is you won't have to worry about respawns as there are plenty of mobs around even with 3 or 4 people doing dailies or farming them. They're also clumped up and you can pull multiple packs of mobs fairly easily. All classes should have an easy time farming these with any type of gear and a fair amount of skill. Just be sure to pull what you can handle. I find this place to be one of the most enjoyable places to farm as well. The scenery and mobs are a lot more interesting than flame blobs. After 30 minutes, I was able to get about 244 gold worth of stuff. Finally, the last place I'll hit up is Foreign Anvil and East Storm Peaks. As with the first 2 farming spots, these mobs drop crystallized fires, greens, and vendor trash. All classes should have an easy time farming these with any type of gear. Just be sure to pull what you can handle. While the upside to this place is the amazingly fast respawn times, you're likely to run into the opposing faction more so than any of the other farming zones I mentioned. Even though this is a really small area, because of those fast respawn times, you can pretty much stay to one side and avoid any confrontation with the opposing faction. Although I prefer just to kill them as it adds a bit of entertainment to an otherwise boring session. I think it's really important to have fun while doing anything, especially farming, so I always try to mess around to make things more interesting. These 2 ally have been here the whole time and they're a bit upset at how many times I've owned the both of them. Towards the end though, they started working better together and turned the tables by owning me. This is definitely a good reason to bring PvP gear along if you're on a PvP server. I noobed out and forgot mine in the bank. Anyway, this is another great place to farm, and even with some allied trouble, I was able to get 178 gold in 30 minutes. Okay, so now that I'm done farming, it's time to DE the greens and list everything. If you don't have enchanting, just ask a friend, guildie, or in trade channel. Be sure to tip them. For enchanting mats, I prefer to list them for 12 hours and in singles if I don't have a whole lot. For Eternals, I'll do the same thing and list them for 12 hours in singles. These are some of the most sought after mats, so everything sold within a few hours. If you want tips on using the auction house and Auctioneer, check my website for a guide. Alright, time to collect all the gold and break everything down by farming spots. After 4 30-minute farming sessions, the best place to farm was the Frostflow Cave in Storm Peaks with a total of 291 gold. Next was Ice Crown with 244 gold, then came Wintergrasp at 211 gold, and last was Foreign Anvil in Storm Peaks with 178 gold. I'll break everything down in a little more detail on my website. Add that all up and it was about 925 gold in 2 hours. So just think, after 5 days of similar farming or 1 day of non-stop farming, you can buy your epic flyer, or whatever else you might need. All the farming spots were fairly the same as far as possible gold per hour, and like I've said in other videos, farming doesn't have to suck. While you're waiting on WG to begin, your IC raid to start, or waiting for friends to log on, farm the areas nearby. So there you have it, 4 great farming spots for those of you who just hit 80, hate dailies, don't have professions, or are just looking for a way to get some extra gold. Just remember, wherever you choose to farm, have fun while doing it.